Well, the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence has some concern about how it will affect the brains of kids and adults. AI neuroscientist and best-selling author Sarah Baldeo is here to reveal how it can be used right to help your brain grow, which is great. Sarah, let's get into this. You're rather optimistic about the future of AI and its association with human beings.
Hence, I call myself the optimistic futurist, because in my doctoral research and my research labs, we see that when people choose to outsource their critical thinking, their problem solving to AI, there is some neurological suppression. There is a decrease in the areas of the brain that help you plan for the future, your executive working memory. But what's interesting is if you use it in the right way, if you use it to kind of automate tasks, we see an increase in the parts of the brain that control your sense of self, your conflict monitoring, your sense of motion, even your cognitive agility. So there was a really cool study done by MIT this year. And what they noticed is, depending on how people chose to use things like ChatGPT, some users who just outsourced everything to it, 83.3% of those users couldn't finish an essay by themselves. So it all goes back to how you choose to use it. If you use it in the right way, you'll increase your brain activity.
So are there some tips if people are trying to do this the right way? What would you suggest?
I really suggest people to use it for things like research, ideation, have a dialogue with AI. So most of the time when I talk to users, they say, well, I give it my email responses to people that I'm angry with. And I say, well, did you try to come up with a response yourself? Did you train the tool before you actually outsource something? I encourage people, try out different tools. Don't just use ChatGPT. You can even build your own GPT tool in 5 minutes. It's totally free. And that helps you to understand the architecture. It helps you to understand how it works.
Now, what would you say for people who are out there that say, I'm of a generation where this technology is not useful and has passed me by, I'm not even going to try? Is it too difficult or well past people who are older?
Hence, I hear this all the time when I'm working with organizations all over the world. They say, hey, we've spent all this money on AI, but the more experienced, the older generation, they're not going to be able to use it. And there's research I love to show them. And this is a beautiful image here that just talks about this brain age gap. Neurological age and biological age are not always tied together. Sometimes the body is aging and the brain is staying young. So I've seen people who are 30 with the brain of a 60-year-old, who are 80 with the brain of a 28-year-old. That doesn't mean they're immature. That means they are neurologically agile. So age is not the predictor. It's your personality that determines if you'll adopt it.
Okay, so there's still some fear out there because this is evolving and people just don't even know how to start. Do you have any advice for someone to just dip their toes in and see what it's all about?
When we talk about this fear, Kent, think about, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, when the telephone came out, when cars came out, even when human beings discovered fire. This reaction to technological innovation of fear is really, really normal. It's just a human reality that we experience. The difference is we no longer have decades for technology to kind of slow down and let us catch up with it. Now, sometimes we have months. So I encourage people, start out with simple tasks. If you want to ask a generative AI tool, hey, can you make a project plan for me for the next, 30 days as I'm headed into Christmas? This is what I want to achieve. That's a great way to experiment with it and see how it can drive automation without removing kind of your human thought and what makes you an individual.
Very great advice. Very reassuring as well. Sarah, we always appreciate your input on Your Morning.
Thanks so much, Ken. Take care.
Now, you can find Sarah's book, 100 Ways to Future-Proof Your Brain, at Indigo Books and connect with her at sarahbaldeo.com.